Hey guys, I got a couple of updates for you for Borderlands 3 regarding this mysterious Varkid boss that is supposed to show up on Ascension Bluff in this arena that nobody can access. And then I want to talk about some hints from a dev that there might be a way to spawn in a Vermivorous from the Varkids on Borderlands 3. That's where you damage them, they pod up, and then you mature them into a supreme badass pod, which will produce a Vermivorous. So I'll show you guys the clues on that, but first I want to talk about this possible Varkid boss that's supposed to show up behind these doors right here on Ascension Bluff. I made a few videos talking about this and showed you guys where IGN had posted a video showing that they were fighting a Varkid in this arena right here well before the game had been released. After the community had finished the first playthrough and realized that we couldn't access this arena, we all started to ask questions. Finally, in November, the devs started talking about it, and Randy Pitchford went on the Borderlands show and he did speak about this arena.
So we saw in the trailer for Borderlands 3 released in an article a while ago showing a, quote, alleged raid boss. We have found the area, but haven't found the method of entry. Is it currently active and we still need to find it, or will it be activated at some point in the future? You know this, the door?
Yeah.
Fran, there's a door that is there that we cannot open. And as somebody clearing the map looking for the platinum drives me crazy. Because I run up to it, I'm like, what am I doing wrong? What is happening?
Well, I'll say two things. One, for now, don't worry about the door.
Okay.
But for later, I don't want to
Obviously.
I don't want to get any. Just don't worry about. You don't.
Don't worry about the door right now.
Don't worry about the door right now.
Don't worry about the door for now. All right.
Soon enough. Soon enough.
So this was back in November when he did this live stream and this interview and said that you don't have to worry about the door right now, but we will know soon enough. So several months has passed since this interview. We've had a couple of events. We've already had a DLC 1 and a DLC 2, and I was hoping that maybe DLC 2 we would learn something. Well, at PAX East, they did an announcement for DLC 2 to talk about the theme of it and then talk about when it was going to be released. And they had some of the voice actors on stage doing some lines. They had the voice actor for Wainwright on stage talking to Hammerlock, and Hammerlock started to talk about some Varkid boss queen called Vermivorous. He said that he was in the middle of a hunt with this Varkid queen. I'll let you guys listen.
Winnie, my love, I'm afraid I won't be home in time to interview those wedding planners. This blasted hunt is taking longer than expected. But if I am successful tonight, you and I shall dine on the Varkid queen, Vermivorous. And if not, I'll pick up some fried chicken on the way home.
So that definitely got my attention, and I was wondering, is this Varkid boss queen have anything to do with this Ascension Bluff arena and the Varkid that we've seen there? I wasn't thinking that this Varkid raid boss fight would be linked to DLC 2, like we'd be doing it as a mission or anything like that, because DLCs always have their own maps and their own locations, and this arena is based in Ascension Bluff. But I was hoping that maybe this is a clue or a hint to that Varkid that we might encounter later, and that's why they put it in this presentation to give us a tease, because they know the community is really wondering about this. Well, while playing DLC 2, there was more talk about this Vermivorous Varkid queen. One of the NPCs that you run missions for was talking to Hammerlock, and you were hearing their conversation, and he said, if you are the same Hammerlock who slew Vermivorous, the Varkid queen, it's an honor for our paths to have crossed. So after I heard that line, that pretty much killed the theory that maybe this Vermivorous was the Varkid we would be encountering in Ascension Bluff, but it looks like Hammerlock has already killed her, so it doesn't make sense for us to go in and deal with her again. But I just wanted to update you guys on that situation because I had made a video hoping that in this presentation and PAX East that it would be a hint, but it's looking like it's not. But in other news, there might be another Varkid boss that we could encounter that might be accessible in the game now. In Borderlands 2, you could mature the Varkids into a supreme badass pod, which would turn into Vermivorous. That was pretty iconic to Borderlands 2, and since they brought back the Varkids and brought back the ability for them to pod up and to mature into bigger badass Varkids, we're all wondering why we're not seeing a Vermivorous. Well, there might actually be one in the game right now that you can get to spawn in, and I'll show you guys why I think that. Last week during the Borderlands show, when they were giving some information about DLC 2, they interviewed one of the devs, Anthony Nicholson. He is the senior producer for Borderlands 3 and head of DLC. I was watching this interview and I noticed his mannerisms. He seems to be a kind of quiet guy. He doesn't have a lot of emotion and he seems very professional and just, kind of chill. And why that matters is because this guy sat there and interviewed and was like super chill, straight face, but then they asked him about Vermivorous. At that moment, his mannerisms changed. He lit up, he was all smiles and giggly and almost nervous almost like he was excited that he knew something was like really happening right now, possibly. When he was first asked the question, he didn't really answer. It seemed like he just gave some kind of vague answer and just agreed to it, but then he was quickly asked if there were secrets in the game, and he seemed to answer yes. And so it could be that, Vermivorous is in the game, and that's the secret he was talking about. I'll let you guys listen.
To echo Zoe's sentiment a little bit more, there were bosses like G, obviously, back in the day. There were, Bunker and all those things. But one of the things that was really enjoyable was there were hidden bosses, too. You had Texi, which you had to go and put iridium into ovens, and then eventually that's what summoned him. Mm-hmm. Or you had Vermi, and I was actually a little surprised that Vermivorous did not show up in Borderlands 3 because they still evolve Varkids. So I was wondering, at least hopefully it gets maybe brought up at some point, that's one of those enjoyable factors that goes into the replayability of Borderlands, is having little secret things that are thrown in there that people can go around and find, and then once it's blown up, everyone's like, whoa, this is the coolest thing ever,
Yes, I
yes.
do. I do know.
Coy.
Thank you.
There's some secret things in the game? Some secret things in the Borderlands game?
Yeah, so...
You can open that door ever? That one door that I can't get in?
What
Drives me
door?
crazy. I asked Randy about it. He said, don't worry
I
about
don't know
it.
what you're talking about.
So he said, are there secrets in the game? Are there secrets in the game? And he said, yeah, so, and then started talking about something else. So I don't know if he was trying to give a hint that, it's been added and it's available, or maybe it's something that's coming really, really soon, and possibly with Mayhem 2.0. But just the way he started smiling when he was asked about it, that's like a real guilty type of reaction, like something or you're really excited about something. And I'll tell you, this guy emotes nothing. He was pretty stone-faced the entire interview until he was asked about that. But maybe I'm reading too much into it and maybe I'm just too hopeful. But he did later say that they like to add stuff that the community wants. So if we're loud enough about it, they'll probably add it. And Mitsu's sitting there already asking about it. And I know a lot of people are wondering, where's Vermivorous? Based on his reaction, my personal opinion is that it might be available now, or it's coming with Mayhem 2.0. Now, whether it's Vermivorous or this Varkid boss arena, I think we might maybe see one of those. And with Mayhem 2.0, it makes sense because they do introduce more difficult enemies. And it doesn't make sense for it to be a part of an event or DLC because those typically have their own maps. Mayhem 2.0 is going to be coming mid-April, so around the 15th or 16th. For Borderlands 2, to be able to spawn in a Vermivorous, you had to be in the second playthrough, which was the True Vault Hunter mode. So it's possible that we have to be in True Vault Hunter mode and maybe even in Mayhem on top of that. Which means to access the Mayhem mode on True Vault Hunter mode, you would have to complete the second playthrough entirely. That's when the Mayhem console will unlock. Also on Borderlands 2, if you were trying to spawn in a Vermivorous, the more players you had in a game, the better chance you had. Here's a chart here that was made, and this reflects the percentages of probability of being able to get these different stages to mature to get to Vermivorous. I'm certainly going to give it a shot. I feel curious enough to see if something would happen, so I'm going to finish my second playthrough with True Vault Hunter mode and then go turn on Mayhem and see if anything will happen. It would be awesome if you guys were able to try as well, but let me know what you guys think about this and your ideas about it. Comment down below and we'll see you guys next video.